All right, good morning, 5-minute traders. Today I want to talk a little bit about how I look at stocks like Google, especially post-earnings. If you weren't involved, they had a great earnings session and gapped up all the way. Basically, they closed here at 980. They gapped up all the way and ran up to 1040. So they had a solid 6-7% move. And then that day it retraced and kind of pulled back to a trend line and tested 1,000 the next morning and then continued onward. But now we're basically in a bracket, and I talk about this all the time in markets. You're either resting, you're moving, you're testing, or you're moving. Those are the four options. And right now this market, I would say, is both resting and testing. The test is yet to come. Well, we tested the $1,000 lower range, but we have not tested the 1050 range. So a couple things need to happen. Time needs to pass, and makes it difficult without news, and this is post-earnings announcement. So now we're just kind of settling into normal trading, and we're into a bracket. The bracket is really a 1010 up to, I'd say, 1040. But to be safe, you would love to see a test of 1050 to see if it's going to go higher. Or are we going to roll over again and test the lower area? So a couple things that come to mind for me is directionally we're trending higher, but if you have not been involved, it's a little late probably to begin trying to chase this, and you would love to get a pullback. Now, if we pull back on the chart a little bit and go back to the last earnings session, you can see that the real point of control now is down here at 920. Now, do I think we're going to trade there anytime in the next couple of days? No. But the couple things that I can do if I want to trade with the trend is I can sell 920 puts, so get a synthetic long going by selling the puts, collect some premium, because I would love to get long and at that price today. So pick a price that you want to get long or short. In other words, even though the price on the stock may not be trading there, if they have liquid options like Google does, this is a way where you can get involved in the name, sell 920 puts every day, every week for the next few months until the next earnings. It's not too dangerous, and see what happens. Collect some premium while the stock is kind of trying to figure out. There's no real pressure down here to worry about, and you're not going to get a ton of premium, but you're going to get some. So the other side of this is it's a little bit riskier because the trend is up, but I would say on the other side, if we're talking 100 points lower for the puts, you would probably look at a 10% move higher, which gets you up to 1100 to 1130, and those calls probably are not that expensive, but you probably could sell those for premium also. You can play both sides of the equation even right now, because likely we just had a 10% move, and we're basically saying we're not going to move 10% higher or lower. So you could sell one or both sides of this strategy all the time while the market is kind of basing and figuring out which way to go next. Until that happens, there's really not a directional trade, but this is a way for a person to get involved and, again, sell both sides of the equation by being basically you're neutral with the market. Now, there's risk on both sides if we get outside of those ranges, the 920 or the 1120 area, but just know that you have some time. It's not going to happen immediately. There's not an event, most likely, without earnings, since earnings just ended, but there is always something. So you need to be aware there's a risk in a strategy like that. It's not, being the one thing you can do is you can buy some protection above the call prices that you bought. That obviously would limit in your stops on the upside, and you could also buy protection on the puts that you sold below. So there's a lot of ways that you can do this, but that limits then the upside. But I just wanted to throw that out there as an idea for people to take a look at, consider, and this is one way to get involved with stocks that may not be moving today, but give you an opportunity to use options with the market profile to figure out areas of interest and play accordingly. All right? So that's it. If you have any questions, drop me a line, Matt at OneMinuteTrader.TV. And love to hear from you. Love answering reader mail. And if you have any questions, as always, just drop us a line. Thanks.